Late-night television took a wild turn last night when Representative Jasmine Crockett appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, sparking a confrontation that's already making headlines. The Texas Congresswoman, known for her fiery rhetoric, walked onto the set ready to challenge the host, who's built a career on sharp political satire. What began as a routine interview quickly escalated into a clash no one saw coming, leaving viewers stunned and the internet buzzing. Crockett, a former lawyer turned rising political star, has never shied away from a fight, and last night was no exception. Colbert kicked things off with a pointed question, asking if she was there to defend her record or just to spar verbally. "Stephen, I'm here because I don't run," she replied, flipping the script by questioning how often he dodges tough issues himself. The exchange set the tone early. Colbert, leaning on his comedic roots, played a clip of Crockett's recent viral House speech where she dismantled an opponent's argument with surgical precision. "Impressive," he said, "but is there a plan behind the passion, or just noise?" Crockett fired back, insisting her strategy was clear to anyone paying attention, and accused him of prioritizing laughs over substance. Within minutes, the interview veered off script. Insiders said producers were already sweating as the tension mounted. What's got people talking isn't just the back and forth, but how fast it unraveled. Crockett refused to play the typical guest role, smiling through jabs, and that threw Colbert off his game. By the segment's end, reports claimed the host's usual control was slipping, with the audience split between cheers and gasps. Political analysts are already weighing in, saying this could mark a shift in how elected officials approach late-night appearances. Was this a calculated move by Crockett to flex her clout, or a spontaneous blow-up? The answer's still unfolding, but one thing's clear: the night was far from over. Sources close to the production say the real fireworks were just beginning, with Crockett doubling down and Colbert scrambling to keep up. The clash didn't just simmer, it boiled over. Sources say the production team was blindsided by the intensity, especially after Crockett accused Colbert of dodging real issues. Insiders report the host decided to push back harder, turning the interview into a full-on showdown. What followed has late-night watchers and political junkies dissecting every move, as the Texas Congresswoman refused to let the segment slide into familiar territory. Colbert, known for turning tough topics into punchlines, went straight for Crockett's record. "Your district's got sky-high poverty," he said, pressing her on why she's battling in Congress instead of fixing it. Crockett didn't hesitate, calling out the question as naive. "Poverty is not a soundbite solution," she countered, pivoting to slam tax breaks for the wealthy, a group she claimed Colbert's circle ignores. The rebuttal hit hard. Audience reaction split the room, some cheering her on, others murmuring dissent. Not one to back off, Colbert dug into a supposed ethics probe tied to Crockett's campaign funds, a fictional scandal cooked up for the moment. He flashed a fake headline on screen and pushed her to explain. "That's a ghost story," she snapped, dismissing it as media fluff and flipping the heat back on him. "What about your big pharma sponsors?" she asked, hinting at cozy financial ties behind the show's budget. Insiders say that's when the segment truly derailed. Producers signaled for a break only to see Crockett keep talking. Her refusal to pause threw the show into chaos. "You don't cut away that easy," she declared as the mic stayed hot. Sources claimed Colbert's team was rattled, with one producer later admitting they hadn't prepped for a guest this unrelenting. The audience fed off it, their noise growing louder, while clips from the segment started circulating online within minutes. Political commentators are now calling Crockett's move a master stroke, turning a late-night slot into a platform to call out the media's game. But the night's biggest twist was still ahead, with tensions peaking in a way that no one, not even the crew, could contain. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert turned into a powder keg, and it may have just changed the rules of political TV. At 5:03, Representative Jasmine Crockett escalated a tense exchange on live television by refusing to allow producers to cut to a break. According to sources, her defiance caused the segment to spiral, leaving host Stephen Colbert struggling to maintain control. What followed has ignited widespread discussion about power dynamics in media, as the Texas Congresswoman brought a level of confrontation rarely seen on late-night TV. Colbert, clearly rattled, attempted to pivot. "You're making this interesting, Jasmine," he said with a forced smile before lobbing a jab about a fictional donor dinner with oil executives. "How's that fit your little guy image?" he asked, flashing a doctored photo on screen. Crockett didn't hesitate. "That was a fundraiser for my community," she shot back, then flipped the script. "You're not a journalist, Stephen. You're a salesman. Who's bankrolling your truth?" The accusation hit hard, drawing a visceral reaction from the live audience, some cheering, others booing. Insiders described the room as electric, with the crowd's energy fueling the chaos. Crockett took it further, standing to address the audience directly. "This is what they hide," she said, pointing at Colbert. "The mask's off now." At that moment, sources say Colbert lost his composure. He slammed his desk and cut her off. "That's enough," he barked. "You don't run this show." Crockett fired back just as forcefully. "It's not your kingdom." As the confrontation hit a fever pitch, producers signaled for security, but the feed remained live, broadcasting every moment to a stunned home audience. The tension climaxed when Colbert muttered, "Get her out," a moment caught by hot mics. Crockett heard it and turned to face him. "You don't dismiss me," she declared, stepping toward the stage's edge. Security hesitated, reportedly unsure how to handle a sitting congresswoman in the middle of a live broadcast, while viewers flooded social media with reactions in real time. Analysts are calling it one of the rarest moments of unfiltered television, with Crockett exposing the fragility of polished late-night narratives. By the time the feed finally cut, the damage had been done, and the aftermath was already becoming a bigger story than the confrontation itself. The fallout didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. It erupted into a full-blown media firestorm that continued gaining momentum. Sources say that after Crockett ripped off her mic and declared, "I walk when I'm done," she strode off set, leaving behind a visibly shaken Colbert, a stunned crew, and an audience still buzzing. Colbert's quiet command, "Get her out," echoed through social media, quickly becoming the soundbite of the night and solidifying the clash as a defining moment in late-night history. But what happened after the show is where the deeper story unfolded. As the feed cut to black, Colbert reportedly remained seated, staring at the desk where his cracked coffee mug now sat like a relic from the chaos. Inside the control room, the atmosphere was described as a war zone, with producers yelling into headsets, scrambling to decide whether to lean into the drama for ratings or bury it with an apology. Meanwhile, Crockett didn't stop to breathe. She walked straight out of the building, heels clicking down the hallway, and within 10 minutes fired off a tweet that set the internet ablaze. "Told y'all I don't play. They can't silence what's real." By sunrise, the tweet had amassed over 50,000 retweets. Hashtags like Knock, Crockett vs. Colbert, and No Mask Off were trending worldwide. Online reaction was swift and intense. Clips of the confrontation, from the broadcast and audience-shot phone videos, spread like wildfire across platforms like X and TikTok, racking up millions of views. Supporters hailed Crockett as a truth-teller unafraid to challenge the system, with one viral post dubbing her the voice that broke the late-night machine. Detractors, however, slammed the move as reckless and accused her of using a guest appearance as a stunt for attention. Political analysts jumped into the fray, dissecting the moment as a masterclass in power struggle. She didn't just challenge Colbert, one pundit said on a morning panel. She exposed how fragile these curated spaces are when someone refuses to play along. suggested it could redefine how politicians approach media, especially younger, bolder figures like Crockett. Back at the Late Show, the mood was grim. Sources say Colbert retreated to his office after the taping, skipping the usual post-show debrief with staff. One insider claims he was overheard muttering about guests who think they're the star, a rare glimpse of frustration from a host known for his unflappable charm. The network execs, though, saw a silver lining. Overnight ratings spiked 30% above average, the highest in months. "It's a mess, but it's a goldmine," a producer admitted off the record, hinting the team might lean into the controversy rather than downplay it. Still, the hit to Colbert's image stung. Pundits speculated he'd underestimated Crockett, expecting her to fold under his usual mix of wit and jabs, only to find himself outmatched. Crockett, meanwhile, was already capitalizing on the moment. Sources close to her say she spent the early hours fielding calls from allies in Congress who saw the clash as a chance to rally her base. A rumored appearance on a rival talk show is reportedly in the works, with whispers she might use it to double down on her critique of mainstream media. Her team's silence on the ethics probe and donor dinner accusations, fictional or not, only fueled speculation, with some saying she's letting the narrative simmer to keep her name in the spotlight. "She's playing chess, not checkers," a political strategist noted, suggesting this could propel her toward a bigger stage, maybe even a 2026 Senate run. The broader fallout is still taking shape. Media watchers are calling it a wake-up call. For late-night TV, a format that's thrived on predictability but might not survive guests like Crockett who refuse to stick to the script. Some predict networks will tighten guest vetting, while others think they'll chase the chaos, booking more firebrands to replicate the buzz. For viewers, it split the room. Half see Crockett as a truth-teller dismantling a smug elite. Half view Colbert as a victim of an ungracious guest. Online forums are ablaze with takes, from memes of Crockett's mic drop to doctored clips of Colbert's stunned face captioned, "When your roast backfires." By midday, the headlines were unrelenting. "Crockett crushes Colbert," blared one outlet, while another asked, "Has late night lost its edge?" The Congresswoman's supporters flooded her district office with calls urging her to keep fighting, while Colbert's team prepped a carefully worded statement for the next broadcast, reportedly set to frame it as a lively exchange gone awry. Whatever the spin, the night cemented itself as a turning point.